Good morning, students. Let us quickly revise and recapitulate whatever we have studied so far, and then after that I'll continue with the text. Okay. Now in this lesson we this is a story about two different people. One is a thief of 15 years of age, and the other is a man of approximately 25 years, isn't it? And the thief, 15-year-old boy who was a thief, his name was Hari Singh. Originally, his name was not Hari Singh, but he kept on changing his name so that he could escape from his previous employer and from the police. Okay, now we have studied so far that Anil was a very simple person, a very happy go lucky kind of a person, and now Hari Singh thinks that Anil was the right kind of a person whom he will be able to rob very easily. Then he starts working with Anil, and he used to prepare his food, his meal, and used to go out for shopping, and every day he used to steal 1 rupee from the money that was given to him to buy the groceries, okay, by Anil. Now Anil also knew that he was making money out of the shopping expenses, but he didn't mind. We have also come to know that Anil made money by fits and starts. That means he made money by irregular works, you may say. Sometimes he also used to borrow money from someone, and the other day he used to return back the money. So one day what happened, Anil came in with a bundle of notes, okay, and told Hari that he had sold a book to a publisher. At that night what happened, he kept the money safely under the mattress of his bed. Now Hari realized that he had been working for Anil for more than a month and had not stolen anything other than that 1 rupee that he was making every day from the grocery money. Now Hari had many chances to steal, as he had he had the key to the room as well, but he was surprised with the amount of trust that Anil always bestowed upon him, isn't it? So he tells that it is difficult to rob a careless man. So he considered Anil as a careless man. Okay, it doesn't really matter to Anil, if he has money or if he doesn't have money. Okay, he says that it is easy to rob a greedy man, because when you rob a greedy man, the greedy man will be exasperated, and he will create a hue and cry, isn't it? But what about a carefree careless man like Anil? Even if he is robbed, he will not even realize that he has been robbed, isn't it? So he that is the reason he says that it is very difficult to rob Anil, because I find Anil is such a kind of a person who is so much unattached with all material things in life. Okay, but now he has decided, he thinks that no, now it is almost 1 month and I should do some real work means that I should do some stealing. Okay, I'm out of practice and I should make some money now, and he goes on justifying himself, isn't it? He says that Anil doesn't pay anything for any salary to me, so it is absolutely all right if I steal the money tonight, and if I don't take this money, then as it is Anil is going to spend the money with his waste the money with his friends, so it is better I take the money. Okay, now let us continue from page number 10, students. Okay, please follow the lines. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat upon the floor, considering the situation. Now here you see he is considering the situation. That means he has got double mind, isn't it? One mind is trying to persuade him that you should steal the money and run away from there, because this is a golden opportunity which he should not let go. But then there is also another mind which is trying to dissuade him, which is trying to tell him that no, you should not try to rob Anil, because he has put so much of trust on you. Okay, but finally we can see that it is the evil mind which has overpowered Hari Singh, and he finally decides that he will steal the money. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. I think this part we have already done. What did Hari Singh do? He made up his mind that no, I have to steal the money, and if I can run away now itself, then I can easily catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. So what did he do? He crept out from his bed, and he silently moved towards where Anil was sleeping. Now here again you can see that how Hari Singh is describing Anil. Okay, Anil was sleeping peacefully. Now student, who can sleep peacefully? Only an honest person who is carefree, isn't it? Who is oblivious and unmindful of what is going around. One who is not materialistic is the person who will be sleeping most peacefully at night, isn't it? His face was clear and unlined. There was no wrinkle on his face. What does it show? There was no frowning lines on his face, on Anil's face. What does it show? It shows that he was such a calm and quiet person, isn't it? Such a happy person. Even I here means Hari Singh. He is saying that even I had more marks on my face. Why? Because those were mostly scars. Maybe because sometimes when he was trying to escape from the police or from his employers, he had to hide in different places, in bushes, or he might have to cross some forest, from where he got so many scars on his face. So he is directly comparing himself with Anil. See, Anil is leading a peaceful life, isn't it? Although he is not a very rich person, but he is a happy person. But think about Hari Singh. He is saying that look at me, okay, I'm still because he is restless, and Hari Singh is completely restless, isn't it? Because there is always a fear at the back of his mind that he might be traced by the police, isn't it? Or maybe by his previous employer. So he keeps on changing his identity every time, isn't it? So next what happens? My hand slid under the mattress. So what does he do? He puts his hand under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I took them out without a sound. Okay, just at that moment, what did Anil do? Anil sighed. Anil took a deep breath, okay, in his sleep, and turned on his side. That means he turned towards Hari Singh. Okay, karbat badalna. Okay, karbat badal ke he turned towards Hari Singh. I was startled. He was shocked and quickly crawled out of the room. He, quickly came out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, okay, and counted the notes. He started quickly counting the notes. 600 rupees in 50s, okay. There were 600 rupees all in 50s, okay. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. So what is he saying? That he could live a lavish life for 2-3 weeks at least with so much money. Okay. Now, when I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office, because this is something very unusual, isn't it? One who is a thief will never procure a ticket from the ticket office. So this is the least expected thing from a thief. So he's saying, he's confessing, when I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket counter. Okay, I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. He moved straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. Okay, the train was just leaving the station. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. For some reason, I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. So what happened? Hari Singh, when he entered the station, the train had already began, okay, but it did not pick up the speed, okay. Although it has started, but it did not pick up the speed. He could have easily jumped into one of the compartments, into one of the carriages, but something tried to hold him back. He hesitated. He was not sure. For some reason, I can't explain. Okay, now here, student, here in this particular paragraph, we come to know that there was some inherent good in Hari Singh, isn't it? The phrase that for some reason I could not jump into the train tells us that there was his conscience which was not allowing him to run away from that place. And I lost the chance to get away. I could easily, he's saying that I could easily run away. Okay, I could easily take the train because the train hadn't, picked up speed. I could have easily jumped into one of the carriages, but I could not. Something was stopping me. Something was resisting me. I cannot explain what it was. But we as readers, we know what was stopping him. What was it? It was his conscience that was stopping him. Okay, what was his conscience telling him? That no, you are doing a blunder. You are doing a mistake. Because you are not only robbing the money from Anil, but you are also robbing his trust. Isn't it? He is not only taking away the money, he is also taking away the trust that Anil had put upon him. Isn't it? So that has what has stopped Hari Singh from taking the train. When the train had gone, I found myself standing all alone on the deserted platform. Deserted means lonely platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of these small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. Okay, so you can see here, you know, after the train had left, Hari was all alone at the train station. He was left with no place to sleep at night. He says that he had no friends because he always thought that friends are there only to add more trouble into our life. Why is he saying so? Because he is a thief, isn't it? He cannot befriend anyone. No one can be his friend, isn't it? So he's saying that I believe that friends are most of the time they bring trouble to us more than helping us, isn't it? And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. And he's also saying that I did not want to raise suspicion in anyone's mind by staying in the hotels. Okay, so the only safe place I knew in this city was the man I had robbed. He was the only man who has given me shelter and food when I had nothing. So the only friend, only man I knew who will, who has given me shelter, who is going to protect me, is the man whom I have robbed, isn't it? So leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. So now we can see once again that the good in Hari Singh was raising its head, isn't it? Was overpowering him, and his conscience was telling him somewhere that you are making a mistake. So what did he do? He sat on a bench in a park as it started to rain. You see, in my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear. Important lines, students, please mark these lines. The greedy man showed fear. The rich man showed anger. The poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness. Not for the loss of money. No, not because he has lost the money, but because he has lost trust. Okay, so he's saying that in my short career as a thief, I have met many people. I have robbed many people. I have studied the faces of many people, and I have come to the conclusion. Okay, I have drawn some inferences. And what is it? That when a greedy man loses his goods, he shows fear. Okay, fear of loss. The rich man shows anger. The poor man shows acceptance. Okay, fine, I have lost, I have lost my goods. But I knew, he's saying, but I knew about Anil's face. I know when he will discover the theft, there would be only a touch of sadness on his face. Sadness, why? Not because he has lost his money, but because he has entrusted a person, okay, and that person has broken the trust. For the loss of trust, he knew that Anil will not show fear or anger or acceptance, but what will reflect on Anil's face? It will only reflect a touch of sadness. He will be sad to discover that the person whom he had trusted so much had robbed him ultimately. Loss of trust. Okay, I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. Maidan, open area, you can say. The night was chilly. It was early November. Okay, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. So see, students, how beautifully Ruskin Bond had created an environment, isn't it? There is a psychological change going inside Hari Singh, as well as there is also a change in the external environment, isn't it? Both has been so beautifully portrayed by Ruskin Bond, isn't it? The change in the environment outside, okay, the change in the climate, and the change inside, the psychological change that is going inside the character is so beautifully depicted in this paragraph. Okay, I found myself sitting in the Maidan. Okay, and then he says the night was chilly. It was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. I was already feeling discomfort. What discomfort he's talking about? He's talking about internal discomfort, isn't it? There was that pang of guilt inside him that was, troubling him. He was feeling guilty because he has robbed the person who has trusted him the most. No one has ever trusted him so much, isn't it? No one has ever, tried to teach him to read and write. Nobody has ever thought him so close as did Anil. So there was some kind of discomfort, and the external weather was also adding more discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, atak jana, skin ke saath, okay? And a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I think a beautiful imagery is created here, students. I think you are able to, you visualize this imagery, isn't it? Hari Singh, sitting in one of the benches in the park, and there is a light drizzle, and soon it started raining heavily, and the rain, the wind blew the rain across his face. So I think a beautiful imagery is created by Ruskin Bond here. Okay, so I will continue in my next video. Okay, it is getting longer